Hi everyone, it's Chelsea here, bringing you another segment of Living in Southwest Florida. There are more than 1,100 people moving into Florida every single day, but we rarely talk about the ones that are moving out. And if you're going to consider uprooting your life to move locally, then you should probably be well aware of what you're in for. So today we're going to discuss reasons why people are leaving Fort Myers. Let's pause real quick before we jump on in though. If you could go ahead and hit that like button for me, I would appreciate it. This way YouTube algorithms share this information with others and it lets me know that there are people out there who do find this information useful. As payment, please accept this picture of alligators at the Naples Zoo during the Boo at Naples Zoo this past weekend. Isn't he cute? And I wouldn't be doing my job well if I didn't remind you that we always love helping people from all over the country buy and sell their homes here in Southwest Florida. So if you or anyone you know of are even thinking about moving, then feel free to use that contact information below. All right, let's jump on in. Yes, there are plenty of reasons why Lee County has some of the fastest growing populations in the country, but it might not be for everyone. And since I believe in getting all of the facts before you go and uproot your life, we're going to explore 8 of the reasons why it may not be the right fit for you. Now, I want to mention that these are reasons that I hear from full-time residents. We do have a ton of second owners and they've got their vacation homes and they may choose to sell off, but this is specifically geared towards why people move here and then decide to go. One of the #1 reasons why I hear people are leaving is the heat. Here in Florida, our fall, winter, and spring all feel like summer in most areas. Today, it's late October. It was a very muggy and humid 86 degrees, and with that, a very high 68% chance of humidity. Since it was also raining later on, it was very warm. It felt much warmer than 86 degrees. My family was sweating in places that are probably not safe for camera. We see a lot of people who decide to leave and they say that it's just too hot for them and they literally can't take the heat. Now, the perk of this is that air conditioning is God's gift to Floridians. And once you go through a summer in Florida, your blood's going to thin and it'll make subsequent summers and winters feel a little less warm. Also, pro tip, schedule your yard work, walks, and bike rides all accordingly. During the summer, it's less likely to rain in the mornings, but it will feel hotter faster. In the afternoons, it's fairly predictable that it'll rain, but afterwards there's a great summer breeze. #2, let's talk about traffic. Tonight, I overheard someone saying that they left their northern sister city, Tampa, because the traffic had just gotten too much worse for them. Cape Coral and Fort Myers are growing cities, and that comes with more traffic. And then double that for off-season numbers for when snowbirds arrive for winter vacations, and then double that again if you're trying to use an artery road to Fort Myers Beach. Congestion is literally a growing concern as the population increases, and some people decide to leave for less busy roads. Now, to give you some points of reference for traffic, you can gauge whether or not it's going to be too much for you. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get from one point of Cape Coral to the other, and it's about the same for Fort Myers as well, about half an hour. It takes me 30 minutes in rush hour to get from Southwest Cape to my office near FGCU in Fort Myers, and it's about 45 minutes to get to the airport. It takes about an hour to get from Cape to Naples, and the beaches from the Northeast to Northwest Cape can take about 45 minutes to an hour in either direction. Now, all of this is still faster than the city that I moved from. And being a realtor, I tend to drive a lot more than most of the average person, so I've never minded drive times. But if you don't like driving 5 to 10 minutes to get to a grocery store, or maybe 15 minutes to get to a restaurant, then this might not be the area for you. As I said, all of this was quieter than the city I came from, and so I've heard our third answer, the sleepier lifestyle, is one reason why some people decide that the city doesn't work for them. While many young families are moving into the area, the Gulf Coast has a retired island type atmosphere. People are not driving around in rush because they're really on vacation or retired mode. They work when they want and they play when they can. This means that there's a lot of amenities for people to do, but it's not going to be a place that you can consider a get up and go mentality. Restaurants and businesses close early on Sundays. There is little to no nightlife and not really any nightclubs. If you want a night out in the town, then you're going to have to head over to Miami for the weekend, which is about a 2-hour drive. Also, some areas are really restrictive. In Fort Myers, there's a lot of HOA-ran communities that can regulate homeowners. And over in Cape Coral, city code enforcement can be kind of strict. That's not really everyone's cup of tea, and so considering that portion of the lifestyle is really important. I haven't heard anyone quote this as a reason why they're really leaving, but just know that the bugs here are real. So the fourth thing I'm going to mention are those pesky bugs. Mosquitoes are in full abundance here, and even worse are those no-see-ums, little tiny flying bugs that look like gnats that bite like a full punch like a mosquito. Don't walk outside barefoot and be careful where you step because fire ants will get your feet. And palmetto bugs are roaches that are supersized that can fly. Fly, y'all. They head to the light, so if you open a door and one comes at your face, just know it's not going to eat you. It's coming because the light is bright. But the most annoying thing to me are the ghost ants. They are little tiny black ants that are impossible to get rid of. And while the bugs may annoy you, I hear that often from people that they're leaving because of number 5, the cost. This is a new reason lately, especially with how housing prices have escalated so quickly. Everyone and their brother wants to come to Florida to live a waterfront lifestyle. And it used to be easy to find a $200,000 home here. Now our median sales price is over $350,000, and so that has priced some people out of this market. While our price points are still pretty reasonable for most major cities, especially for people moving from high cost of living communities, I have heard from some people that they're heading back up north or to similar towns further inland or in the Midwest where housing prices may be a little bit more affordable still. Cost of things bring me to number 6, jobs. I'm going to take a little time warp back with you to the 1950s. I'll be honest with you, Cape Coral was not the best well thought out town. You see, the Rosen brothers came in the 50s and decided to take a swamp and build a town. But the Rosen brothers were not city planners or even developers. They were salesmen and they had a vision. And so they broke the town into residential lots, they built the bare minimum to attract people, and then they went on a selling spree all around the world. Funny enough though, they were able to build a city because people could really see the potential too. But because they lacked the expertise in planning, and that's why we have sewer lines that are still being installed decades later, and why bringing commercial development was taking a slow way to start. You see, once city managers began to actually run the city like a city and take care of all of the amenities that a city would need, like jobs and like places to shop or eat or hang out at, they needed some sort of zoning, and they needed to be able to cobble together those residential lots in order to make them big enough to handle those big businesses. Now, decades later, we're starting to see some of that turnaround. Cape Coral Parkway and Del Prado are now lined with shops, and the Pine Island corridor is bustling with new construction. Fort Myers grew more smartly, and there are plenty of shops and restaurants over there. As the cities have grown, though, services have been needed to take care of the populations, and this is why you'll see the biggest employers being healthcare, public schools, local government, grocery chains. Another big employer is U.S. Sugar and Gartner. That's a global research and advisory company that's headquartered here as well. Bigger companies are beginning to see the workforce and the populations are growing here, and they're taking note. So I think we'll start to see these numbers shift in the coming years, but it is still concern on finding really great employment. The number 7th reason that I'm going to give you is that family needs have changed. This past week I closed on a home, and the reason why the sellers were selling was because they wanted to be closer to grandchildren. I'd say that maybe half of my closings that were leaving the area last year had similar stories. Sometimes once people retire and they find their family elsewhere, they decide that they just want to join in on the fun and be elsewhere with them. And the last, 8th reason I'm going to mention is politics. Throughout COVID-19, Florida has been polarizing in the news and media. People have really flocked to that, or they really haven't. I have heard some stories of people that have disagreed with the handling of COVID protocols, and they didn't feel that Florida was going to be the right fit for them. Florida in the past has been a swing state, but Southwest Florida has typically been very red on the political voting maps. As I've said in other videos, I do have many friends on both sides of the aisle, and no matter which side you lean, there is a support system of similar thinkers here for you to choose to engage with if you'd like to. As always, I would love to hear from you. Are any of these reasons ones that will be deal breakers for you? You can find my contact information below in the video description if you'd like to run any questions by me for your specific scenario. Myself and the network of agents I have throughout the United States are here and ready to help you with your move. Also, feel free to use Cape Coral Fort Myers Realestate.com for all the latest listings to hit the market and begin getting comfortable with our marketplace. No obligations. If you are ready to go ahead and get that ball rolling on your move to Southwest Florida, then there's a link in the description below to set up a personalized home search that will be tailored to you. Oftentimes when you search on web aggregates, it limits your capabilities. But when I build a search within the MLS, you will have many more options available, and we can begin to have a conversation on what your home in Florida will look like. Also, don't forget to add me on social media and follow along as we post weekly articles and information that you may find handy and give you insight as to what life in Florida looks like. And as always, we really appreciate it when you leave us a comment, hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell, and then you'll be notified when we drop future videos that may help you with living in Southwest Florida. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you much health and happiness.